Hey, this is Jared Stallings again, and I'm just going to show you guys how to reverse a string manually. I don't really see many good tutorials out there on it, at least manually. I did do this in object-oriented programming in C++. So first I'll launch it and show you what I've done. What you see here is just the constructors being initialized for the classes. So for the first class, this is only taking in the, I forget the library's name, but the library is going to essentially reverse the string instead of a manual array to reverse the string. So it says you chose the string the 1, and this is what the library does. It does reverse it, but the words are backwards. So O should be here in the E's place, and the N should stay. As well, the E and the T and the should be switched. So using a derived class, I'm able to reverse that same string up here to this, which is the correct reversal. I also have a predefined string called hello world, and this is again with the original class using the library to reverse the string. So doing the same thing, I'm using the derived class to reverse the words, essentially. Now I'm going to show the manual way of reversing a string. Let's just say the sky is blue and I don't like it. And this shows it's already, you don't skip this step here. It already reverses it the correct way, fully. If, like, don't I and blue is sky the. So you kind of walk through. So that first class I was referring to is this class. I called it reverse str. We have the constructors here, the mutators and the accessor, and then two private strings called to be reversed and private string. I could have kept one, but just because I was confused at first as well, so I made two separate strings. So this is what you were seeing at the top when it was executed, just to show that this string is put into the private string. Same thing here, and that it will be initialized. You will see that automatically because we have created an instance of the class, and it will see out the default constructor. And destructor, which does nothing. Excuse me. So yeah, so then these are all the definitions of those functions. So the reverse string takes in a character, and that library, which is called let's see here, algorithm. This library, this is what you do to reverse it in that way, the halfway. So we had the 1, it was 1 the, but the words were backwards. This is what that will do. I haven't found any way to use the library again to fully reverse it in order for it to say 1 the and have the words not be twisted up. That's why I had to create another class. This just sets the to be reversed the private string to whatever's coming in, which is going to be a string reference. Same thing with the other string. And the get, which is just going to return or print out the whatever is the private string and the to be reversed string, which again were our private variables. So since I wasn't able to reverse or using the library to reverse it fully, I found out there was a step that was being missed. And so thus I created a derived class called manual reverse, and I have a public inheritance to the reverse string. Similar to the previous class, we have constructors, a few mutators, and accessor. Excuse me. And we have a private string called main. The difference is in this one is that the reverse function takes in a character array instead of a string array, or instead of a string. And we also have another function that takes in two integers in a character array. But essentially, these two integers will be the starting position of the array and the end of the array of this character that's coming in as well. And then finally, setting it, set that character to this set character function, and printing out, basically returning what the character is. So just like the previous class, reverse.h, we're going to initialize the private string main to be just called initialize, and we saw that again when this program was executed. Destructor again does nothing. So this is the file that contains the definitions for the derived class manual reverse. Finally, let's go through here. We have the reverse character function. So this is essentially how to reverse let me go to the other part. This is the main way to manually reverse a string. Right here. So, like I said, I'm taking the starting index of the array and the end index of the array, position, and a character string array. So, we have a character called temp, and while the end of the index position is greater than the start, this is what we're basically walking through each, we're basically walking through the whole array. And we're going to set temp equal to, this way we can switch the position. I will give a link to where I got basically the pseudocode to do this. But we're essentially switching the position. That's why we need a temporary variable. So we're setting this temporary variable to the start position. So it'll be the 0 place, for example, when it starts initially. Then we're going to set the array start position to the end position. So now the start will take place at the end, and then the end will be in the temporary placeholder. And we're going to decrement the end position, so it's going to go from right to left, and the start index we're going to increment, and that's going to go from left to right. So basically they'll meet in the middle, and we'll reverse each character. Again, I will give you the link in the description to the pseudocode for that. That person did a much better job at visually showing that. Again, we're just giving this accessor function called set character. Excuse me. That is not the set character. Or that is not an accessor. This is a mutator. Because we're changing. And then, same thing with, like I said, the get, that will just return whatever's in the private variable called name. So, I did forget the main here. So the reverse character, which only takes in a character array. So this is what we'll be calling on when I go through the initial in the main function. So we set I to 0. The comment says I to go over every single character in the string. Then we have a start variable that is initialized to 0. This stores the index of the first character in the word, and L to store the length of that string. Excuse me. So first, we're going to reverse that whole string. So for example, if I say the 1, what it's going to do is take in the T, which is the very first character in the, and then 1 is E. It will, then this function here is going to switch those two, and then the next character up, it will switch those again. So it will switch the H in the, and then the N in 1. Switch those, and it will keep doing that. So essentially, it is going to look like the library way, because we're only reversing 1. So that's what we need to do first. So that's what this does. Like I said, starts at 0. L is the string length, is the entire minus 1. And then, again, the character reference, the character array, which is here. So now, we need to, here's the comment here. Essentially, yes, this is exactly what's happening. So this is what, like I said, this is what happened. You input, for example, this should be simple. This is what that previous, right here, reverse, we call on the reverse function. This is what this does. But now we have to do that again so we can only, so we find out what each word is and then reverse their position. So S should be here, and E should be back here. L should be where the I is, and the I should be where the L is. P and M should be switched as well. So that's what this next part is going to do. So while I, which is the start, is less than the size of the array, we're going to set start equal to I, because start again, is to store the index of the first character in the word. And next, in the looped while loop, we have while the string I is not equal to a space, and it's not equal to a null character, then we know we are at the word. So now we know we're at the word as well. So we're going to go through each character, and we're going to make sure we're not at the word or a null character. Basically the end of the character array. And we're going to call on reverse again to reverse that single word. And then we do the same thing here, and then increment I. So we're skipping the white spaces. Now what we have to do is essentially just restart the I. So after that space has been skipped, we'll look at words again and then reverse back here, increment, and do it again until we reach the end, again, null of the character. So that's the gist of the classes. Now here's the main program. So I've kind of played around with this, and it's not too bad, but it is a little complex. So like I said, we have a class instance of the reverse str, which is the base class. Then we have the derived class called manual reverse, which takes the manual, and then I told you there was a predefined class as well that just had a character in it. So it's showing that it can be reversed if it was manually put in for the character, or if a user wants to input characters. So we have a blank character array. This is used instead of the string because, again, the derived class only takes in a character array. And we have to be reversed and string 1. These two here are needed for conversion, to convert the string into a character array. And these are control variables for the two while loops I have below. So first I'm using the base class, and I'm asking for the user to input a string to be reversed, and this is the way to get more than one string. You have to use getLine instead of cn. Cn will only get all the characters until there is a space. If you press space, nothing else will be entered. So we call on, this is a instance of the reverse str class. So we're calling on the set private string. So the user put in string 1, put that into the private string. So that is now our private string. Now, again, we're just going to show what is in the private string. This get function will get that and print it out. So now what we have to do is call on the reverse function, which uses the library, set that function that's been reversed, and then print it out. So we're printing it out essentially right here. But that's, again, not what we want to see. So what I do instead is use the derived class and set that same variable to the reverse function. And then set that. So again, we have a string here instead of a character array. What we have to do is convert that. So again, while 0, that's I, is not equal to the size or how big string 1 is, we're just putting in each character into this character array and increment that. So now that we have that, we call on the reverse function of our class, the manual class, reverse that, set it, and then this will print out the correct reversal. This is, we're doing basically the same thing, except it's for a character that's already been defined. It's called Hello World. Yeah, so we're doing the same thing. We have, but that's a string, so we have to also convert that. So we're taking in 0, the 0 index, and put that into the character array of that 0 position, increment, and keep going in. You gotta keep doing that till we're at the end. Same thing. We reverse that. We reverse Hello World. We set it and we print it because the reverse character function will reverse twice for us instead of once, like in the base class. And finally, this is the main. This is what you're really looking for. So for a character array, you have to use cn.getLine to get a continuous array of characters instead of the cn getLine.cn, because this is for a string, not a character. So this just looks for new line or null. So, like I said, this is going to be put into the variable, this array. So whatever the user puts in here, up to 255 characters, and yeah, so we call on this, we want to set that to the private string, private character in our derived class. We want to get it and print it out. Now we want to reverse that, set it, and then print it out. So last time again, I will go through it briefly. Chose the string sky the. This is what it does. This is the correct way. Here's the predefined string again. Hello world. Reversed. And then this is the correct way. Now we can put in some crazy thing. I like the color blue. And I like the color red. Red color, the red color, the like I, and blue color, the like I. Well, that's it for me. If you guys, again, I will give you that description of where I got help from learning how to manually reverse a string, and yeah, thanks for watching.